Many men notice that fat loss becomes harder over time, even when effort increases and habits remain consistent. This experience is often explained as aging, slowed metabolism, or lack of discipline, but those explanations miss the underlying mechanism. What changes first is not calorie balance. What changes first is metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility refers to the body's ability to switch smoothly between energy sources. In a flexible system, carbohydrates and fat are both accessible. Energy availability remains stable across meals, activity, stress, and rest. When flexibility is high, the body adapts easily. When flexibility is lost, adaptation becomes costly. By this point in the series, you've seen how insulin signaling becomes more persistent, how energy access becomes restricted, and how stress and sleep disrupt regulation. Loss of metabolic flexibility is the cumulative result of these changes. As insulin remains elevated for longer periods, fat release is suppressed. The body becomes more dependent on incoming energy rather than stored energy. Fuel switching slows. Instead of alternating between storage and release, the system becomes biased towards storage. This bias has consequences. Energy availability becomes less stable. Hunger signals become louder and less precise. Small disruptions produce larger effects. Recovery takes longer than it used to. Fat loss can still occur, but only under narrow conditions. This is why fat loss often works temporarily, then stalls. The system responds when conditions are tightly controlled, but any deviation is perceived as stress. Storage is reactivated quickly. Progress reverses easily. This is not resistance, it is rigidity. A flexible system absorbs change. A rigid system amplifies it. When metabolic flexibility is low, effort feels expensive. The body defends stored energy aggressively. Fat becomes harder to access even when total energy stores are abundant. This creates a paradox many men experience, carrying excess fat while feeling low energy. Another defining feature of low metabolic flexibility is reduced buffering capacity. In a flexible system, small challenges are absorbed with minimal disruption. In a rigid system, the same challenges produce exaggerated responses. A missed meal, a poor night of sleep, a stressful day, or a change in routine can trigger disproportionate fatigue, hunger, or energy instability. This makes fat loss feel fragile rather than durable. Progress depends not just on effort, but on maintaining a narrow set of conditions. Outside those conditions, regulation becomes unstable. Importantly, metabolic flexibility is not lost suddenly. It erodes gradually as compensatory mechanisms remain active for too long. Because this erosion is slow, it often goes unnoticed until fat loss becomes inconsistent, exhausting, or unsustainable. Understanding this reframes frustration. The issue is not insufficient effort. It is a system that has lost adaptability. Fat loss becomes harder not because calories stop mattering, but because access to stored energy has been restricted by regulation. In the next video, I will explain why frequent eating patterns reinforce this loss of flexibility, and how constant energy availability reshapes metabolism over time. On this channel, I explain metabolism using medical science. This video is for educational purposes only. This is not medical advice. Always consult your physician.